Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about Google adding NotebookLM to Google Workspace Studio. So let me see. So let me scroll down a little bit here. Okay, so first of all, you will have to have one of these plans. If you don't have one of these plans, you won't see this. So if you watch the video and you go and you want to try it and then you don't see it at all, come back to this part of the video. And again, if you don't have one of these plans, you will not see this. The other thing is that if you do have one of these plans, you have to make sure that your admin enables this feature for you. If you're the admin, then I would recommend coming to this site and then clicking on this link here so that you can go through the steps to add it if you don't know how. So once you go through that, again, you have the right plan and you have it enabled, then you can go to studio.workspace.google.com and then you get to this page. And then if you've never seen this before, we have a video on this. There's a lot here, but it's not that bad. If you've used something like Zapier or Make or like N8N or any kind of just like workflow builder, this is Google's version. So I mean, really high level. If you have some kind of repeatable task that you want to do and you have some kind of trigger that starts it, and then once it starts, you have more and more actions that you do, and then that creates some kind of output. That's just a really simple explanation of a workflow. That's what this does, just within the Google verse. So the new thing in here is, let me see, I already did this. Yeah. Okay, so what you can do now is you can just click on the plus from the main page and you get a new flow. Again, I already built this out just to see what it was like and then just to save the time here. But kind of like I just described, you have a starter, which is basically your trigger. And in this case, I just did a set schedule. Like you can do all kinds. Let me show you a new one just to give you an idea here. So when you start here, you can do all kinds. So you can do on a schedule, you can do when you get an email, when you're mentioned, when something changes, when a form comes in, you get all kinds of choices, right? So on this one, I just did on a schedule. And what I wanted to do was every day at 8 a.m., I wanted to do something. And then once you have a starter, then now the next step, in this case, I just went to NotebookLM, and this option was not here before. You could do all kinds of stuff with Word, or Word, with Docs and Sheets and all kinds of other stuff. But NotebookLM is the new option here. Again, let me show you on a new one. So this would just be your starter, and then your step. Again, here you could ask Gemini, Gem, all this other stuff. Right here is where NotebookLM is. And this section didn't exist before. It just went right from tools to Gmail. And there's all this other stuff in here. But again, this video is about the NotebookLM piece here. So now going back to the flow that I made already, on a schedule every day, 8 a.m., and then the Ask NotebookLM, there's not much to this. So what you can do is you can select a notebook. And if you already have notebooks in place, you click the drop down and it'll have all your notebooks in here, right? And then you can pick whichever one you want. So in this case, I picked DaVinci Resolve, which is a video editing and audio and all kinds of just editing suite. And then you can just create a prompt, and the prompt will basically ask something or give some instruction to the sources that you have within that notebook. What I did in this demo here is to basically have every day at whatever time, I think at 8 a.m., go into NotebookLM and go into this DaVinci Resolve notebook and then create a random tip just about how to use it. So it's just like, let's say I don't know how to use DaVinci Resolve and I just want to learn just kind of one day at a time. So it's like, here, give me a random tip on how to use it. And then with that tip, I want you to notify me in my Google chat. And There's not much to this step, but what I put in here was the message that I want to send me is daily DaVinci Resolve tip, colon, and then I put the variable to go back to the whatever the output is from here. Again, if you don't know how to use this, we have a whole video on like breaking down every step in here, so I'm not going to go through all of it. So that's a really simple workflow that I have in here, and then I just did a test run. And let me see. Yeah, so this is the actual test run result in here, and test run happened and it was complete. And again, the schedule that I put in there didn't really matter because I just had to put something in so I could do a test run. But I ran it, it's time that it ran, and then it went to NotebookLM. And then here is the random tip that it gave me. You can read through that if you want. It doesn't really matter. The whole point was that it went to NotebookLM, went to my sources, and then made a tip from that, and then notified me in my chat. So let me switch over to my chat and show you that. Okay, so now this is my Google chat. In this case, it's within my Gmail window, but this is my chat. And then this is how it shows up in here. So it's separate chat in here, and then just like I put in the studio, I have the daily DaVinci Resolve tip, colon, and then it just starts. And this is the same output that it had in Workspace Studio. So now if I turn this on, then every day I'll just get something like this. I'll just get my daily DaVinci Resolve tip. So now coming back over, I mean, that's really it. So I mean, that's a really simple workflow, but you could add all kinds of steps and have different logic in here and do all kinds of stuff. But the main bullet point in here is that they've added NotebookLM. So now anything that you have, any sources that you have in NotebookLM, you can now prompt those sources and then pull whatever you get from that into Workspace Studio and then do whatever with that like you would with anything else. So put it on a schedule, have whatever kind of trigger you want, have whatever kind of output you want, maybe have it send you an email or add it to a doc or send it to chat or all kinds of stuff. But they've put this integration within Workspace Studio now. So it's a really powerful addition to what was already a really powerful program if you use lots of Google stuff, because this ties a lot of stuff together. Again, if you've used like a Zapier, this is like Google Zapier, basically. But definitely take a look at that. If you use, again, Workspace and you have access to this and you use NotebookLM, because this can save you a ton of time. And yeah, just try it out. If you use these tools, I highly recommend trying it out. If you have any questions, ask us and we will do our best to answer them, and we will see you next time.